Welcome to Week Gen C.
Focused on young adults in the Northwest
And their careers in a post-pandemic world.
Ever wonder how they go from the classroom into your chosen career?
We chat with local STAR employees to find out how they got where they are today.
And what they've learnt along the way.
How are you, Susie?
Yes, not too bad, thanks.
Susie, do you just want to introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Of course, absolutely, no worries, Darla. So my name is Susie McEnany and I am the owner and founder of Lemonade, which is a PR and marketing agency based in the Northwest.
Oh, very good. And what sorts of things does that entail in a typical day?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I said, Lemonade is a PR and marketing agency. So all that means is we work with lots of different clients, helping them with their marketing and their PR activities. So we work with loads of different businesses and organizations from kind of across, Ireland and the UK really, and they're from all different sectors, all different industries, they're all different sizes. And we help them with really different things in their marketing. So that could be anything from digital marketing, so looking at social media, email marketing, all that stuff, to looking at PR, which is more the media relations side of things, which is, press releases, press coverage, interviews, influencer marketing and all of that. So as cliched as it sounds, no 2 days are ever the same in my job, I can tell you that, Dervla.
That sounds great. And is a job in PR the same as a marketing role, or if not, what would the differences be?
That's a great question. There's a lot of crossover, to be honest with you, Dervla. There's PR is more focused on the media relations side of things. So I always like to say PR is about creating talkability. And all I mean by that is it's about getting people to talk about your brands, getting them to put them out in the media, and really just increasing talkability is the best way to describe it. And another good way to describe it is trying to get stories out there. So trying to find things about companies and businesses that people want to hear, good news stories and things like that. Yeah. So if you're working in a PR role, you're going to be dealing directly with the media. So if you imagine you're going to be working with newspapers, you're going to be working with journalists, you're going to be working with online media outlets as well, radio, TV, broadcast, all of that. So PR is more focused on that side of the things and kind of that traditional, writing a press release and seeing in the paper and stuff like that. That's the easiest way to kind of understand what PR is. Right. Although it has evolved over the years, now influencer marketing, working with the like of people on Instagram who have big followings and things like that, that would fall under PR. Whereas marketing is a little bit different. Marketing is really a mixture of lots of different things. It's that kind of email marketing, digital marketing. It's like an umbrella term, but the two are very, very closely linked. I've worked both. Prior to starting my own business, I've worked both in a PR focused job and I've also worked as a marketing manager, where I've been a manager for a company, looking after all their marketing. There's a lot of crossover with it.
And I don't even know how you would go about getting a PR job. Was there anything in school, skills wise, that kind of prepared you for this job, or how do you even get into PR in the first place?
That's an excellent question, actually. For me, and I know a lot of people actually kind of fall into PR a little bit. So for me, whenever I was at school, it was a case of I didn't know what I wanted to do. I really didn't have a clue. I was always smart and I always worked hard. So those were kind of two things that always stood in my favor. And whenever it kind of came to, I was always quite creative. I was always good at English and drama and things like that, and public speaking and stuff like that. That kind of came quite naturally to me, and that was something that my school really helped with, I would say. And it was really then when it came to kind of deciding what I wanted to do for uni, it was figuring out, because I didn't have a clue. As I said, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I had good grades, so it was that thing of, do I do law, or do I do something like this, or do I be a teacher, or that kind of thing. And for me, my mom gave me a really good piece of advice. She was like, pick something you like and everything else will fall into place. So I actually chose to do English at uni, and that was because I felt that I was really good at it. I really loved it, and I felt like it gave me a good grounding to go into loads of stuff after. I was like, if I have a degree that's kind of somewhat general, then I can kind of figure out what it is that I want to do. And then I was quite lucky. Whenever I was at uni, I did a placement with City Magic, which is a film and television festival in Belfast. Whenever I was working with them, now it was like an unpaid internship over the summer, and I got access to loads of their different departments. And the department that I loved was the PR and marketing department. And for me, I didn't even know that this was a job. I'm like really organized, love talking to people, love writing. And I didn't even realize that this was like, you know, a job that you could do. So whenever I was working with them, it was that thing of, oh my goodness, this is so fun. Like, you know, being able to go and do photo shoots and write press releases and talking to people on the phone and putting plans in place and all of that. It was all this stuff I really, really loved. So I did that in the summer, and then I'm a trained dancer as well. So whenever I was at Queen's, they didn't actually have a dance society at that time. So me and a couple of my friends actually went through the university and we set up the dance society. So this was at the start of second year. And whenever you sort of set up a society, you have like different roles. You know, you have like a secretary and you have all this different stuff. And they had to have a marketing PR officer. So I thought, oh, I could take all this stuff I've learned from this internship and kind of do it for this. And that was really how I kind of got into it, because we had to come up with a name. We called it QUB Dance, still called that to this day. Had to come up with a logo, had to like start the Facebook page, and you know, because this is going back, you know, 10, 12 years now. So we kind of started that all and came up with events and stuff like that. And that was really how I got into it. And I decided then, you know, this is what I want to do. And it was a case of just, I suppose it was just really that sense of creativity, public speaking, being able to write helped me as well. And getting that work experience probably was the thing that made my decision for me. But again, having that experience of school, of working hard and being smart, really, really helped.
Yeah. And what advice would you give to someone if they wanted to develop a career in PR? Do you have any tips from the inside?
I think the main thing I would say is just believe in yourself and kind of don't take no for an answer. I think that PR is, if it's something that you think you have the skills for, you know, if you want to work in PR, there's a few things that you probably need to be quite good at. You know, I think being able to write is something that you need, being creative, having good communication skills is really important, because you're always sort of putting yourself out there, you know, whether you're talking to a client or you're talking to a potential customer or you're talking to a journalist. So I think trying to really focus on those skills will really, really, really help. And yeah, as I said, not taking no for an answer and believing in yourself, because I know for me, it was only kind of through sheer tenacity that I got there and I got the job, you know, in PR, because it was the work experience that helped, you know, and kind of deciding, okay, well, I'm going to do this unpaid internship, but I'm going to do a wee bit of work on the side, you know, to support myself, and I'm going to be able to do this. And it was always, you know, whenever I then took a gap year after uni and went to Australia for a year, which was really a fantastic experience. I would recommend anybody to go on a gap year. You know, don't think it's gonna, you know, kind of stifle you or anything like that. Like, I grew so much in that year and learned so much about myself. And whenever I came back, again, I was at this place where I had to make a decision of, okay, am I going to go and do the masters at Jordanstown? I think it was Jordanstown at the time. I think they still do it. They do the masters in communication, advertising and PR. Or am I going to try and start working? And I made the decision to try and start work. And again, literally, Dervla sent my CV out everywhere. When I say I emailed every PR agency in Belfast, I emailed them twice probably. So, and to be honest, I'll be honest with you, only one person got back to me. And I was very lucky, and it was Kathy Martin. She gave me my first opportunity, worked with her for 2 months, and then she offered me a job, and that was literally how it worked. But if I had have let, you know, the kind of all the no's and nobody even replying, you know, if I'd let that get me down, I never would have been able to, you know, get the job. But I think, just think about how everything will help you get to where you want to be. You know, if it is a career in PR, think about, okay, well, can I do like a little bit of work experience somewhere? Can I, even like writing a blog, if you want to have examples of showing that you can write, just think of ways that you can build up your skills so that whenever it comes to the stage of getting a job, that you actually have things that you can show and that really show your own skills. And the thing is, there's so much stuff you can do. And it's just about looking at yourself and believing in yourself, I think would be my main bit of advice. Don't take no for an answer.
Of course. And for your clients, would you give them advice? Because I was just thinking, people who are trying to put themselves on the market, whether they've started their own small business or they're trying to be an influencer, or would you tell them to, put out as much as they can or focus on quality, the quality over quantity thing? What would you tell your clients regularly?
You're right. It's quality. I think that it's a big part of marketing and PR is kind of understanding who you are as a business and understanding who you're trying to talk to, because you need to be authentic. If you're not authentic, that's going to really come through. So you need to have the quality really, yes, of course you need to be posting frequently or you need to be putting out certain things frequently, but ultimately you really need to have that good quality, and it has to be something that's going to resonate with whoever it is you're trying to reach. So whatever it is you're putting it out has to be done in a certain style, a certain tone that is going to provide value to the audience you're trying to reach. So I would be in the quality camp, I think, Dervla.
Okay, fair enough. And one last question. What is the best piece of business advice you've ever been given, or maybe you could pass on?
Okay, another excellent question, Dervla, I must say. The best piece of advice that I've ever been given, and I think it can apply to business or life in general, is to be resilient. Life is often going to give you lemons and you have to make lemonade. That's why I actually called my company Lemonade. Because that's kind of my mantra to life, and you always have to make the best of it. And I think that being resilient is something that will put you in good stead no matter what situation you're in. As a young person, I really appreciate the challenges that all the young people are going through currently. I think it's a really tough place to be in terms of making your decisions about your career, making decisions about how you're going to get into the career you want to. All of that, that's always been a tough thing for any young person to do. But I think the times we're in now, it's even harder. And I think by being resilient, it's going to serve you in the long term better. And the thing about resilience is it's not something you're born with. It's something that you can learn. And it's a skill that, if you have that tenacity, have that belief in yourself, and don't let things get you down, and believe that whenever, because you will get knockbacks, you won't get that job, you won't hear back, you will get criticism from your manager, all of that is going to happen. But if you start working on that resilience muscle now, it's going to serve you better in the long term. And from a business point of view, I think it just makes sense, because business is, it changes every day. It's peaks and troughs. You ride the waves and things like that. And you always, as long as you have that resilience in yourself, you will always come out the other side. And just always believe that everything happens for a reason, and you're having these various opportunities for a reason, and it will all work out. So being resilient would be my key business piece of business advice.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, that's all the questions we have for you today, Susie. Thank you so much for talking. It was very interesting, and it was lovely to meet you.
Oh, you too. Thanks so much for your time. It was great chatting to you, and all the best.
See you later.
So much. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.